Greetings and salutations to Secret Talk. Dive into the hidden tales and narratives surrounding infidelity alongside us. As I reflect on the past, it feels as though the entire narrative is but a dream, a film that can be played back at will. Yet in those days, it was the truth of existence. It began with subtle shifts in gazes, ephemeral caresses, and those hushed instances when your heart races, brimming with the promise of what is to come. This tale unfolds the complexities of love and betrayal, exploring the choices that alter our fates and the lengths we will traverse in pursuit of true happiness. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lena, and what follows is the tale of my journey. Sunlight poured through the office window, bathing the room in a golden glow. As I settled into my chair, I found myself enveloped in the familiar cadence of a secretary's daily duties. Joining a vast corporation felt like stepping into a dream when I embarked on my journey. Yet, after 5 years, it had settled into a routine of monotony. My union with Victor, a steadfast and dependable individual, who also toiled at the same company, had seamlessly woven itself into this familiar pattern. Today unfolded like any other, yet with the arrival of the new department head, Adrian Cole, an unmistakable aura of transformation lingered in the atmosphere. He exuded charisma, radiated confidence, and possessed an undeniable allure. With each step he took, the employees couldn't help but notice him, and his smile had the power to warm even the iciest of hearts. In my capacity as a secretary, I found myself in a position of continual engagement with James. On that initial day, he made his introduction, and I could feel the warmth rising to my cheeks. His eyes sparkled with a vibrant curiosity, and an indefinable quality in his demeanor distinguished him from the others. "Good morning, Lena." His resonant voice cut through the fabric of my musings. "Good morning, Mr. Blake," I replied, making an effort to mask my embarrassment. "Call me James," he said with a smile. This unpretentious act revealed his openness and warmth. As we shared a few words, it dawned on me that his presence stirred something within me, altering my very perception. He transcended the role of a mere boss, embodying a figure who could ignite inspiration and infuse fresh energy into those around him. With each passing day, I found myself increasingly immersed in his office, assisting with reports, plans, and presentations. James exhibited a blend of assertiveness and fairness, with his professionalism shining through in every aspect of his work. At times, our dialogues evolved into more intimate exchanges, allowing me to understand him on a deeper level. One evening, as we lingered into the night, he proposed that we order dinner. In the cozy confines of his office, we savored delectable Chinese cuisine from a local eatery, engaging in a conversation that meandered through a myriad of topics. He recounted his journeys, the destinations he had explored, and the individuals he had encountered. I unveiled my aspirations, which had lingered in the realm of the impossible for far too long. "You must have more faith in yourself, Lena," he said, gazing deeply into my eyes. "Your potential exceeds your own expectations." His words resonated deeply within me. In that instant, it dawned on me that, after what felt like an eternity, someone finally had faith in me. The sensation was nothing short of extraordinary, prompting a deep introspection about my existence and my genuine desires. The following day, as I arrived at work, James greeted me with a smile once more, and I sensed a shift within myself. He lingered in my thoughts, his words echoing in my mind, and the intensity of his gaze still felt palpable. These thoughts started to consume an increasing amount of my mental landscape, and I sensed I was teetering on the edge of something perilous, yet thrilling. My husband, Victor, remained oblivious to these changes. He was deeply engrossed in his tasks and the responsibilities of home. Our relationship had settled into a dull routine, and the fervor that once bound us had slowly diminished. I endeavored to conceal my emotions, Yet each encounter with James grew ever more meaningful to me. One evening, as I lingered at the office, James kindly extended an offer to drive me home. As we navigated the nocturnal cityscape, the glow of lights enveloped us, creating a unique ambience within the car. He shared his visions for the future, detailing his perspective on the company's growth, and in that moment, I recognized the profound inspiration he instilled in me. Upon arriving at my house, he brought the car to a halt and turned to face me. "Lena, I'm truly grateful to have you on our team," he murmured. "You bring strength to our collective effort." My heart raced in response. His words resonated deeply within me, and I found it impossible to conceal my feelings. "Thank you, James," I whispered, my voice trembling as tears threatened to spill. "You have no idea how much your words mean to me." Our eyes locked, and in that fleeting instant, a spark ignited between us. A moment etched in my memory forever. Not a word was exchanged, yet the silence spoke volumes. Upon entering the house, I found Victor deep in slumber. I lingered by the window, gazing at the vast night sky, contemplating the uncertainties that awaited me. I sensed I was teetering on the edge of something extraordinary, with every subsequent step holding greater significance than the one before. A week had slipped by since that night when James took me home. His words, his look, and the unique connection that flickered between us remained etched in my thoughts. I endeavored to maintain an air of normalcy, yet my thoughts increasingly drifted to him. One morning, upon arriving at work, I discovered a delicate bouquet of fresh flowers awaiting me on my desk. Taken aback, I gingerly unfolded the small card that accompanied the blooms. "I appreciate your efforts. Each day you create is imbued with a unique charm, James." These words elicited a smile from my lips and a gentle flutter in my heart. With meticulous care, I arranged the bouquet in a vase, a gentle warmth blossoming in my chest. James arrived shortly after, and as our gazes locked, I recognized that familiar spark in his eyes, reminiscent of that night in the car. Throughout the day, I endeavored to concentrate on my tasks, yet each time James brushed past, a rush of adrenaline coursed through me. As we settled into our lunch break, he proposed a stroll to a quaint cafe just around the corner. I found myself in agreement, fully aware that this simple outing might unfold into something deeper. We ambled down the street, savoring the gentle warmth of the spring day. James shared his ideas and plans, and I listened, captivated by his passion and energy. At one moment, he paused and turned to me. "Lena, I have something to tell you," he started, his tone shifting to one of gravity. "Since you joined my team, I feel like I've found not just a great employee, but a friend and maybe something more." The words hung in the air, leaving me momentarily speechless. Within me, a tempest of emotions raged. Joy at his confession clashed with the fear of the unknown. We stood beneath the sheltering trees, my gaze locked with his, searching for the truth behind his eyes. "James, I find myself at a loss for words," I murmured, my heart racing with each passing moment. "Don't say anything," he replied, stepping closer. "Just be true to yourself. What emotions stir within you?" His words stirred my thoughts. With my eyes shut, I sought to unravel the depths of my feelings. Within me resided turmoil. My affection for Victor was undeniable, yet the intensity and clarity of my feelings for James were impossible to overlook. I sense a unique connection between us," I finally admitted, my eyes fluttering open to meet his gaze. James smiled softly, his fingers brushing against mine. His touch was delicate yet potent, akin to a surge of electricity. "Lena, I feel it too," he whispered. "And I want to explore where this path may take us. Are you prepared to embrace the uncertainty?" I let out a weary sigh and cast my gaze downward, fixating on my feet. This was a pivotal moment, and I grasped that a great deal hinged on the choice I was about to make. My feelings for James were not something I could simply cast aside. Yet, I was equally reluctant to let my life be overshadowed by Victor. I don't know, I admitted, my voice tinged with uncertainty. I need time to think about everything. James nodded, stepping back to grant me the solitude I needed to ponder. I understand, he replied, but know that I am here, prepared to wait. You mean a lot to me, Lena. Those words resonated within me. I found myself caught in the midst of two men, each representing a distinct path in life. As I settled back into the office, I endeavored to concentrate on my tasks, yet the persistent thoughts of James lingered in my mind, refusing to fade away. That evening, I lingered at the office once more, and Victor, as per his usual demeanor, refrained from inquiring about my late hours. He had grown accusatory to my late nights, and I understood that it had woven itself into the fabric of our existence. Yet now, as I gazed upon him, he transformed in my eyes from merely a husband to an individual I could deceive. The following day, upon encountering James once more, it dawned on me that I could no longer endure this state of uncertainty. I resolved that it was time for us to converse and bring closure to our matters once and for all. After work, I extended an invitation for dinner, and he accepted with enthusiasm. In a snug little restaurant, we found ourselves enveloped by the soothing strains of music, while the warm glow of light crafted an ambience rich with comfort and intimacy. I selected a secluded table in the corner, ensuring our conversation would remain undisturbed. James made his entrance right on schedule, and his smile enveloped me in warmth. "Lena, I'm glad you chose to speak," he remarked, settling into the chair opposite me. "I required a moment to ponder it all," I responded, sensing the pressure building within me. We placed our orders, and I inhaled deeply, bracing myself for a weighty discussion. "James, I must admit there's an undeniable connection between us," I started. "Yet, I find it impossible to simply erase Victor from my thoughts. He is woven into the fabric of my existence, and I cannot simply cast aside all that we share." James nodded, his expression steadfast and solemn. "I understand, Lena," he responded. "I'm not requesting that you decide at this moment. I want you to understand that my support is unwavering, and I hold deep respect for whatever choice you make." These words brought me a sense of tranquility. In the midst of a challenging predicament, it was James's unwavering understanding and support that fortified my resolve. "Thank you, James," I murmured, my voice trembling as tears began to gather in my eyes. "You hold a significant place in my heart, and I wish for you to understand that fully." As we savored our meal, our conversation meandered through the realms of work and personal passions, deftly sidestepping any challenging subjects. Within me, a tumult of emotions clashed, yet I sensed that I had embarked on the initial journey toward untangling this intricate predicament. As the last bite of dinner faded into memory, James escorted me to my car. We lingered beneath the vast expanse of stars, and once more he brushed his hand against mine. "Lena, regardless of what unfolds, I will always stand by your side," he declared, his tone soft yet assured. I nodded, sensing the weight of his words seep into my heart. "Thank you, James," I whispered, and in that instant, he leaned in and pressed his lips softly against mine. His lips, tender and inviting, sent a delightful shiver coursing through my body. This kiss brimmed with fervor and gentleness, and I found myself unable to resist it. A tempest of feelings swirled within me, and I understood that this moment would alter the course of everything. As our lips drew apart, I turned to James and found reflected in his gaze the very emotions stirring within me. Yearning, fervor, and an elusive essence, a realm we had only just begun to explore. That night marked the dawn of a new journey, and I sensed that challenging choices and trials awaited us on the horizon. Yet, I was prepared to embrace the uncertainty and discover what destiny had planned for us. With each dawn that broke, my mind was consumed by the memory of that kiss. It etched itself in my mind, shining like a brilliant star against the dark canvas of the night. Each time I shut my eyes, the warmth of his lips washed over me once more. Yet, I was acutely aware that I must confront the repercussions of my choices. Within the confines of the office, the dynamic between James and me grew increasingly fraught, yet simultaneously more profound. We persisted in our collaboration, engaging in discussions about various projects and future plans. Yet, whenever our gazes intertwined, I glimpsed my own emotions mirrored in his gaze. We endeavored to uphold a sense of professionalism, yet the tension that hung between us became ever more tangible. On a crisp morning, James summoned me to his office to delve into the details of an intriguing new project. As I stepped inside, I gently shut the door, a wave of anxiety washing over me. James perched at his desk, his expression intent. "Lena, we need to discuss some project details," he began, yet the tremor in his voice revealed his underlying tension. I found myself seated opposite him, my ears tuned to his words, yet my mind wandered to distant realms. I endeavored to focus on his words, yet each time our gazes intertwined, an undeniable spark ignited between us. "Are you paying attention to what I'm saying?" he inquired, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Indeed," I responded, making an effort to mask my discomfort. "Lena, I recognize the challenge we face," he said, reclining in his chair, "yet I cannot ignore the deeper feelings I have for you that extend beyond mere professional respect, and I believe you share those sentiments." His words rendered me motionless. Deep down, I recognized the truth in his words, yet a lingering fear held me back from acknowledging it. "James," I murmured, my gaze fixed on him, "I feel it too. What shall we do now?" He rose to his feet and made his way toward me, his gaze brimming with resolve. "We must be truthful with one another and with ourselves," he said, grasping my hand. "I'm ready to embrace the uncertainty if you are as well." His words resonated deeply within me, and I came to understand that I could no longer dismiss my emotions. I rose to my feet and gazed into his eyes, a spark of passion igniting deep within me. "James, I'm ready," I declared, and in that instant, he leaned in and pressed his lips against mine. This kiss ignited a fervor that surpassed the one before it. His arms enveloped me, drawing me nearer, and I mirrored that fervor in return. We cast aside all distractions, yielding to the depths of our feelings and emotions. As we finally separated, I gazed into his eyes and recognized the reflection of my own emotions mirrored within them. In that moment, as we held each other close, an undeniable realization washed over me. We had ventured into uncharted territory. "Lena," James said, gently stroking my hair, "I know this won't be easy, but I'm prepared to fight for us." His words infused me with strength and confidence. Challenges loomed on the horizon, yet I felt prepared to confront them alongside him. "I'm ready as well, James," I responded, my heart swelling with resolve. We chose to exercise caution and refrain from hastening the process. Within the confines of the office, we maintained a facade of professionalism, concealing our true emotions from our coworkers. Yet, each evening in our solitude, our encounters grew ever more fervent and meaningful. One evening, while Victor was away on yet another business trip, I extended an invitation to James to come to my home. We nestled on the couch, entwined in one another's embrace, engaging in a conversation that spanned the breadth of our thoughts. His presence enveloped the house, infusing it with a sense of warmth and coziness. "Lena, I want you to understand that this goes beyond mere infatuation for me," he said, gazing deeply into my eyes. "I genuinely desire to be by your side." His words resonated within me, and I came to understand that I shared those very sentiments. Text, I long to be with you as well, James, I responded, and in that instant, our lips collided once more in a fervent kiss. We surrendered to the night, allowing our feelings and emotions to intertwine. It was an evening steeped in affection and fervor, and I sensed our spirits intertwining as one. The following morning, I found myself nestled in his embrace, and it dawned on me that I desired nothing more. I stood prepared to battle for our love, undeterred by the myriad challenges and hurdles before us. Yet I was aware that a formidable journey awaited me. Significant choices lay before me, poised to alter the course of my existence irrevocably. With my head held high, I stood poised to confront these challenges, fully aware that my love for James would be the source of my strength and confidence. Weeks had slipped by since James and I laid bare our emotions for one another. Our encounters persisted, yet each rendezvous was steeped in the peril of being uncovered. In spite of everything, our connection deepened, and I came to understand that life without James was unimaginable. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the day's labor came to a close, James proposed an idea that promised to be extraordinary. Lena, I wish to orchestrate a memorable evening for us, he declared, his eyes glimmering with excitement. Join me at my abode this evening. I assure you it will leave an indelible mark on your memory. I nodded, a gentle warmth blossoming within me. James shared his address with me, prompting my return home to change and ready myself for the evening ahead. Donning my finest dress, airy and graceful, I felt a thrill as I made my way to his abode. Upon my arrival at his residence, James welcomed me with a wide, inviting smile. His home exuded warmth and elegance, a true embodiment of his unique style and personality. He guided me into the living room, where a meticulously arranged table awaited, adorned with a gourmet dinner. The candles danced gently, casting a warm and enchanting glow that enveloped the space in a tender embrace. The atmosphere was infused with the fragrance of blooming blossoms and a whisper of warmth. His attention and efforts moved me deeply. You look stunning, Lena, James said, his eyes filled with admiration as he gazed at me. Kindly take a seat. As we commenced our dinner, I sensed the weight of the past weeks gradually dissipating. James regaled us with tales from his life, filling the air with laughter as we savored the meal together. The wine he selected was an exquisite accompaniment to the evening, enveloping me in a sense of warmth and tranquility. Once dinner had concluded, James proposed a transition to the living room, a space he had meticulously arranged for the remainder of the evening. We settled onto the couch, where he played gentle music that enveloped the room in a tapestry of melodic sounds. I'm glad you came, he said, inching closer to me. This evening, I aim to create something truly special for us. I already have, I replied, my heart racing with each word. James filled our glasses with another round of wine, and we delved deeper into our conversation, savoring the warmth of each other's presence. Slowly, the space that separated us diminished, and I sensed his hand gently settle upon mine. This caress was delicate yet potent, and I sensed a fire spark inside me. Our eyes met, and in that instant, I realized I could no longer restrain myself. James leaned in, and our lips intertwined in a fervent embrace. This kiss brimmed with longing and fervor, and I matched that intensity in kind. Our hands ventured across one another's forms, and I sensed his touch becoming increasingly fervent. James gently loosened the laces of my dress, and I sensed the fabric gliding away from my skin, exposing it to his caress. We parted from the kiss, gasping for air, and I caught a glimpse of the same burning intensity in his eyes that mirrored my own feelings. James delicately peeled away my dress, leaving me clad only in my lingerie. His hands glided across my body, igniting ripples of ecstasy within me. You're beautiful, Lena, he whispered, and warmth flooded my cheeks. I reacted by peeling away his shirt, enveloping myself in the comforting heat of his form. Our lips met once more, and I sensed his hands tracing the contours of my form, igniting waves of longing within me. We gradually made our way to the bed, and I sensed his body pressing against mine, his lips tracing delicate paths of kisses along my neck and shoulders. James exhibited a keen attentiveness and a gentle demeanor, yet his touch radiated an undeniable passion. His hands moved gracefully across my body, sending ripples of delight through me, and I reciprocated by discovering every inch of his form. We surrendered to the passage of time, allowing our feelings and emotions to take the lead. Our movements grew increasingly rhythmic and synchronized, and I sensed a fire kindling within me. Each caress, each embrace brimmed with fervor and affection. We cast aside all else, yielding to our deepest yearnings. The night was steeped in passion and tenderness, as I sensed our souls intertwining into a singular essence. As we finally separated, I found myself nestled in his embrace, my heart pounding with exhilaration. James caressed my hair, murmuring sweet nothings filled with affection and warmth. "Lena, I've never experienced anything quite like this," he said, gazing deeply into my eyes. "You hold an irreplaceable place in my heart." Text: I share your sentiments, James. I responded, my eyes brimming with tears of joy. "I cherish you deeply." As the days unfolded, the connection between James and me deepened. We persisted in our encounters, relishing each fleeting moment liberated from the monotony of our everyday existence. Yet, our bond grew ever more treacherous. We realized that should anyone unearth our secret, the fallout could be devastating. One evening, James extended an invitation for dinner at a charming, tucked-away restaurant. In a cozy corner, we savored the delectable dishes while the gentle strains of music enveloped us. Our discussions transitioned from the realm of business to the intimate sphere of personal matters, and before long, we found ourselves completely absorbed in one another. His hand brushed gently against my face, and our lips connected in a tender kiss. Little did we know, one of our company's employees, Ryan, who happened to be a close friend of Victor's, had made his way into the restaurant. He lingered for a brief moment, observing our presence, and then swiftly departed, careful not to attract notice. This evening held the promise of transformation, a revelation I had yet to foresee. The following day, Victor welcomed me at home, his face adorned with an unexpected expression. He appeared restless, yet made an effort to conceal his feelings. "Hello, darling," he said, wrapping his arms around me. "How did your day unfold?" "Good," I replied, making an effort to mask the tension within me. "I must depart for a business trip for a few days," he declared, catching everyone off guard. "A significant project is underway, and my presence is essential." His words flowed effortlessly, yet an unsettling feeling lingered within me. Despite my reservations, I acquiesced, aware that it would afford James and me an opportunity to share moments together. "Certainly, Victor," I responded. "I will handle it." He pressed his lips to mine and gathered his belongings as I stood by, attempting to mask the turmoil within me. Once he departed, I reached out to James and extended an invitation to come over to my home. Unbeknownst to me, the day prior, Victor had taken a call from Ryan. Their exchange was fleeting, yet it was sufficient to ignite a flicker of doubt in Victor's mind. "Hi, Victor, we need to talk," Ryan began, his voice taut with tension. "Concerning what matter?" Victor inquired, a mounting unease settling within him. "Last night, I caught a glimpse of Lena. She found herself seated at a restaurant alongside James. As they shared a meal, the atmosphere shifted, and soon their lips met in a tender kiss. I felt it was important to share this with you." Those words struck with the force of a hammer. Victor found it hard to accept the words that reached his ears, yet Ryan's tone held an undeniable allure. He chose to refrain from hasty judgments and crafted a strategy to validate or refute his doubts. The following day, he informed me of his impending business trip, yet unbeknownst to me, he remained in town, scheming to shadow my every move. He understood that it could validate his deepest anxieties, yet he craved evidence. Upon James's arrival, I welcomed him with a warm smile. In the cozy embrace of the living room, we sipped our wine, lost in conversation. The weight of the past weeks dissipated, giving way to a sense of joy and tranquility. As our lips met, a surge of love and passion coursed through my heart. Then out of nowhere the door creaked open. A chill coursed through me, as a surge of panic welled up from within. Victor lingered in the doorway, his gaze a tumultuous blend of astonishment and anguish. "What is happening in this situation?" he inquired, his tone soft yet laced with a subtle menace. I distanced myself from James, the ache in my heart palpable. Words eluded me, and I struggled to articulate the inexplicable vision he had witnessed. "Victor," I started, yet the words lodged themselves in my throat. "How could you, Lena?" He pressed on, his voice rising in intensity. "How could you possibly betray me?" James rose to his feet, his expression grave. He drew near to Victor, attempting to articulate his thoughts. "Victor, it's not what you think," he began, but Victor was already lost in his own thoughts. "Leave my home at once." Victor's voice erupted, his eyes shimmering with fury. "And you as well, Lena." Those words pierced like a blade. Tears began to gather in my eyes, prompting me to exit the room, unable to linger any further. James trailed behind me as we exited the house, abandoning Victor to his fury and anguish. As we journeyed in the car, I found myself unable to contain the tears that streamed down my face. James grasped my hand, an attempt to soothe my troubled heart. "Lena," he said gently, "I understand this is difficult, but we will navigate this together. I assure you." Several days had elapsed since Victor last beheld James and me in each other's company. The atmosphere was thick with tension and laced with pain. Victor hardly exchanged a word with me, steered clear of any gatherings, and departed at the break of dawn, only to return in the depths of night. It was clear to me that our marriage teetered on the brink of disintegration, and the realization shattered my heart. One evening, upon my return home, I discovered an envelope resting on the kitchen table. With hands quaking, I unsealed it and discovered divorce papers within. Victor had kept it succinct. He preferred brevity over lengthy discussions or elaborate explanations. He merely sought to conclude the remnants of our union. "Lena, I can no longer endure this existence. My faith in you has been irrevocably shaken by what I witnessed. I am initiating the process of divorce. Let us bid farewell with grace, avoiding any discord or drama. I wish for you to discover your joy." "Victor," these words pierced through me like a blade, leaving a wound deep within. A heavy weight of guilt and regret settled within me for having betrayed his trust. Yet, amidst it all, a sense of relief washed over me. I would no longer be compelled to conceal my genuine emotions. I could be with James freely, unburdened by the weight of judgment or the threat of exposure. I sat at the table, my gaze fixed on the documents before me, as tears cascaded down my cheeks. In that instant, a soft caress brushed against my shoulder. It was indeed James. He arrived to stand by my side during this challenging time. "Lena, I'm here," he murmured, enveloping me in his embrace. "I understand the difficulty of this situation for you. Yet we shall navigate this journey united." I nodded, sensing that his presence infused me with strength. We sat side by side, wrapped in a quiet embrace, and I felt a deep certainty that, even amidst the pain and suffering, a brighter future lay ahead of us. The following day, I convened with Victor to deliberate on the terms of the divorce. As we settled into our seats at the cafe, an unmistakable tension enveloped us, thick and palpable. "Victor, I can see where you're coming from," I began, striving to maintain a composed tone. "I deeply regret all that has brought you suffering." He gazed at me, a mixture of sorrow and resentment etched across his face. "Lena, I loved you," he murmured softly. "However, in light of recent events, I find myself unable to proceed with this marriage. It is time for us to embrace new beginnings." We delved into every aspect of the divorce, and I sensed a burden beginning to lift from my shoulders. We reached a consensus to partition the property amicably, with Victor graciously proposing to relinquish the house to me. It was a gesture that revealed his lingering affection for me, regardless of all that had transpired. Upon returning home from our meeting, I placed a call to James. I recounted my discussion with Victor and the conclusions we had reached. "Lena, I'm proud of you," James said, his voice brimming with warmth and encouragement. "Your display of strength was truly remarkable. Together we shall navigate this journey." As the weeks unfolded, the divorce proceedings continued to advance. I endeavored to maintain my strength, yet there were moments when sorrow would engulf me like a relentless tide. I came to realize that I had betrayed a man who held love for me, and this revelation etched a profound scar upon my soul. Yet, concurrently, a sense of joy and liberation washed over me. Understanding that I could share my life with James in a transparent and sincere way. James and I embarked on the journey of constructing our new life together. In my darkest hours, he stood by my side, offering unwavering support and solace. We cherished our time together, savoring each moment we had to share. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the evening sky, we found ourselves on the balcony, lost in the moment. James grasped my hand gently, his gaze locking onto mine with an intensity that made the world around us fade away. "Lena," he said softly, "I understand there are obstacles before us, but I believe we will overcome them together. You hold the utmost significance in my life, and I am prepared to battle for our joy." A smile graced my lips as his words resonated deeply within me. I understood that our journey would be fraught with challenges, yet I was prepared to confront every obstacle alongside him. A few months later, the divorce was finalized. A tremendous burden seemed to evaporate from my shoulders. The curtain fell on one act of my existence, ushering in the dawn of another. Our paths crossed once more as I met Victor to finalize the last of the paperwork. As we occupied the lawyer's office, a complex tapestry of sadness and relief wove through my emotions. "Victor, I truly hope you discover your happiness," I said, gazing into his eyes. He inclined his head, a solemn expression etched upon his features. "And what of you, Lena?" He responded, "I extend my heartfelt wishes for your success and happiness." After exchanging our farewells, I stepped out of the office, a feeling of buoyancy lifting my spirits. A fresh existence brimming with potential and dreams lay ahead of me. I stood poised to welcome it, my head held high, aware that beside me was a companion prepared to battle for our joy. Months had slipped by since I affixed my signature to the divorce papers. The past months unfolded with a tapestry of transformations and fresh starts. Alongside James, we embarked on the journey of constructing our new life, liberated from the shadows of secrets and deceit. The journey was fraught with challenges, yet each hurdle fortified our resolve. One evening, as James and I lounged on the couch in his apartment, he regarded me with a unique glimmer in his eyes. "Lena," he started, gently grasping my hand, "I want to discuss our future." An exhilarating surge coursed through me. James had consistently shown a willingness to be transparent with me, and I sensed he was prepared to delve into the most significant issues. Could you clarify what you mean? I inquired, my heart racing with each passing moment. I want us to start a new chapter of our life together, he said, his voice low yet assured. I would like for you to come and live with me. We can forge our future side by side, leaving the past behind us. A smile graced my lips as his words enveloped me in a wave of joy. I was certain it was the correct decision. Text, I desire that as well, James, I responded, and he kissed me, affirming our shared longing. As we embarked on the journey of planning our move, each meticulous detail of the process filled us with a sense of joy. Our life seemed to blossom into a state of harmony and fulfillment. Together we selected furniture, contemplated the future, and crafted our plans. One day, as we settled into our new abode, enveloped by a sea of boxes, James produced a small box and offered it to me. Lena, you mean so much to me, he said, his eyes alight with enthusiasm. I wish to convey that I am prepared to dedicate my life to you. As I lifted the lid of the box, my eyes were drawn to the shimmering ring nestled within. It possessed a delicate elegance, capturing the essence of our love and connection with exquisite precision. Lena, would you do me the honor of becoming my wife? James inquired, his voice quivering with eager anticipation. My eyes brimmed with tears of joy and I nodded, overwhelmed by my feelings. Indeed, James, I will marry you, I replied, as he gently slid the ring onto my finger. That moment brimmed with joy and love. We understood that numerous challenges awaited us, yet we stood prepared to confront them side by side. My connection with Victor underwent a transformation. Following the divorce, our encounters became infrequent, yet I endeavored to preserve a cordial rapport with him. He discovered comfort in his endeavors and fresh interests, and I felt a sense of joy witnessing him carve out his own route to contentment. As dusk settled, a message from him found its way to me. Dear Lena, I trust this message finds you in good spirits. I have secured a new position and will be relocating to a different city. I extend my heartfelt wishes for your happiness and love, Victor. Those words held significant meaning for me. The end of our relationship was undeniably challenging, yet it opened the door to fresh opportunities and uncharted territories ahead. James and I pressed on, crafting the tapestry of our shared existence. We journeyed, unearthed new destinations, and expanded our vistas. Each day brimmed with joy and affection, and I felt certain that our bond was steadfast and dependable. As I sat by the sea, the sun dipping below the horizon, I felt his hand gently rest upon mine. Lena, my heart swells with joy at the thought of you by my side. James spoke, his voice brimming with affection. And I share in your happiness, James, I responded, my heart swelling with gratitude. We sat side by side, savoring the present, and I felt a deep certainty that countless exquisite moments lay ahead of us. Our narrative was merely unfolding, and I stood poised to embrace the future with optimism and delight. With the past firmly behind us, I gazed forward, aware that by my side stood a companion prepared to navigate the myriad challenges and joys that life would unfold before us. Our time together was what truly mattered above all else.